Well, we can speak now to Kanni Wignaraja. She is the UN Assistant Secretary General and Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific at the United Nations Development Programme. She joins us live from New York. Many thanks for your time today. So it's been 3 days now since the earthquake struck. You have staff in Myanmar involved in the relief effort, I believe. What are you hearing that are the main challenges on the ground right now?
I think it's the ability to actually access everyone who needs the support, both because you've seen the roads and the bridges are down in many places. One can get to some of the urban centers like Naypyidaw and Mandalay. But if you look at getting to Sagaing town and then outside, which is the epicenter, this is still very, very difficult. The good thing is there are a lot of local groups, including the local Red Cross and some of our teams, the UN teams, the national colleagues who are there. But working in this heat, 3+ days on, without all the necessary equipment, this is really difficult. But they will persevere. It's amazing to see the ongoing effort with everyone throwing everything they have to try and get to maybe some more survivors under the rubble.
And what is the priority right now in terms of the needs? We've heard that healthcare is very much in short supply.
You know, this is a part of, this is a country that has already about 3.5 million people who are displaced because of the war. So you add to that the fact that in the central and northwestern region that is affected by the current earthquake, you already had about half of those displaced in these locations. Already living, at such a subsistence level. So that, while we're looking at immediate things like water, getting electricity up and running so that hospitals and clinics can actually function fully. So yes, medicines which are in short supply. Thankfully, some of the countries have sent in the emergency medic teams. They're fully staffed and they brought in their equipment and the meds needed. But this is just a fraction of what's needed. So very quickly, this has to move from a relief effort where people do need immediate food, shelter, and water, to actually getting to a very, very fast recovery now that we've seen the aftershocks happen. So there's hopefully more safety in moving and rebuilding quickly some of the access roads and the bridges to get to the others where we haven't been able to reach them yet.
As you said, even before this latest crisis, your organization, the United Nations, was warning that Myanmar was a country in crisis. So now that we've had this earthquake, how concerned are you about the future of the Burmese people, particularly those who are most vulnerable, like women and children?
Well, deeply, deeply concerned. Even before the earthquake, I would say women and children were the most vulnerable. So if you look at about a population today of approximately 55 million, and half of that women who really were way behind and barely surviving in some of the parts of the country. This is a moment to really, for the authorities, with all the countries that have stepped up as they should to help, including the countries bordering Myanmar. This is a moment to say, well, stop. We really need to look at it's not just the shaking from the earthquake and the devastation. It is 4 years of ongoing civil war. I mean, you know that even in the midst of the last 3 days, we've seen and we've heard of airstrikes going on. You can't do this in a population that has been so resilient, cannot remain in this state of anxiety and insecurity. So I would say while there's an immediate relief effort that has to happen, that has to come with the ability to open up spaces to negotiate for some peace and stability and a very fast recovery, including building back some of the infrastructure and social services that are so critically needed.
It was really good to get your thoughts today. Kanni Wignaraja, UN Assistant Secretary General and Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific at the UNDP, joining us there from New York. Thank you.
Thank you.